Kyle Meredith. It is 2 o'clock on this Tuesday afternoon, a WFPK Waterfront Wednesday Eve. I am really excited to be joined in the studio by a newcomer, Jade Bird. How are you?
Hey, I'm really good. Yeah, I'm great, thank you.
Welcome to town.
Yeah, Louisville.
Louisville.
I'm here.
Yeah, you just do the laziest version of that, Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah, you'll get it.
Oh, I'm never going to get that. That's an awful impression. Good start.
It's funny. I'm going to do all this before we get into the interview, obviously. Yeah. I was reading, it was either Mojo or Uncut, which, British magazines. And it took a British magazine for me to be able to explain to someone how to do a Southern accent. And they said, just do it like Elvis would.
Oh, really?
And I went, that's the way to do it.
I always say that when I play a show. I'm like, thank you very much.
That's it. Yeah, well done. Jade Bird, obviously not from around these parts. You come from the UK yourself, and you've been doing the Southern tour at the moment, right?
Certainly have, down to Nashville. That was 2 days ago now, so I'm fully learning the roots almost, yeah.
What were you telling me you were reading on the way here?
Oh, Wise Blood.
Yeah.
Wise Blood. Yeah, I go by recommendations. And I was just in this massive bookstore. I'd overwhelmed, so I tend to look for one. Oh, that was too much.
I'm curious the impression of America, of America history that's given you and the viewpoints.
Oh, it's quite gothic. But I like my gothic bands, so it's not too bad. Yeah, the Southern Gothic thing. So yeah. It's really good.
Well, I think that plays into your story too, because you're a young artist, 19, right?
Yeah, 19.
19. We're just getting familiar with you. I think most of the world is getting familiar with you. But there is this sort of American tint to your past.
Yeah.
Like, I know the world is small these days, much smaller than it used to be as far as finding new music. But how did you come upon your love for Americana and American country music, in the UK?
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
It's a tricky one, really, because I'm big into my songwriters. I got into blues when I was about 12 or 13. A friend of the family would kind of play me a load of Delta blues I really got into. So that's when I picked up the guitar and started learning the guitar. And then I think 15, I stumbled across the Civil Wars. And I was just blown away. I remember being like, and they've got such a chemistry and a magic to them. And then I really delved into Chris Stapleton. So a lot of contemporary kind of country tinge and Americana. And it's recently, until then, I've really been going back and Townes Van Zandt. And I've always loved Johnny Cash. I mean, he's the cool, he's the legit, I mean, he's a bit cliche, but he's the legit coolest guy.
I don't think you don't have to be cliche with Johnny Cash because he just is.
He just is. He's just the guy. He can't be that kind of cool. So yeah, I've been going back since then and just really delving into everything I can and just learning so much from songwriting purposes. And I don't know why it kind of got to me. I think it's the storytelling I really relate to, writing your own songs and having a direct connection. And yeah.
Is that what drew you into wanting to make music yourself? I mean, was that the reason, or were there other factors involved in that?
I think it's like anything. I think when you have a certain, obviously when things aren't straightforward in life when you're younger, you always find a release or an event almost. And for me, the guitar really, because I've been playing piano since I was 7 or 8 classically. It's a bit more strict, but for me, guitar kind of enabled that outlet, which was great. I wrote so, and I say 12, 13, I really did write pretty much and discipline myself to write a song a day from around a certain age. I'm a bit obsessive, as you can tell.
That's the best kind of artist.
Yeah, it's so true. But yeah, I think it's like any craft. You really have to drill yourself into to get the good songs. You have to write 100 rubbish ones.
Right.
I won't see the light.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Is how are those songs? How are those songs from when you were 13?
Yeah,
do you revisit those?
I mean, some of them aren't too bad. I remember I did a competition because I was playing anywhere I could. I used to live in Wales. Anywhere I could that could have me. And the one guy in this competition was like, you're very, very morose for a 13-year-old. And he was like, I just know where you get it from. I was like, I go through a hard life too, maybe 13, but
I mean, I think every teenager is dramatic. I know I was. Oh my God,
so much so, especially young girls as well. We know how to
I can't relate to that part, but yes, I hear about it.
Yeah. We're right drama queens, but yeah.
Talking with Jade Bird here on 91.9 WFPK, passing through town right now. You got a release. It's just an EP at the moment?
Yeah, it's 5-track EP. We released it, I think, I've been saying last Friday for a while, but I don't know if it is last Friday anymore. Honestly, everything's going so quick. But yeah, it's called Something American.
All right. Well, we're going to get into that here in just a few moments, but great. I thought before we talk about that, we should probably give everybody a taste of what you got.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, this first one's the title track. It's called Something American.
All right, it's FPK.
me now, and I don't think too much about you, but when she's not around, I can feel you lonely. Oh, I can feel you lonely somehow. We knew each other when we were very young. High school sweethearts or something American.
Jade Bird here on 91.9 WFPK. Something American. Beautiful song right there. Cheers. Is it fair to say that you have a romance with America?
Oh, I do. a very fond romance with America. I absolutely love it here. We recorded up in, it was a kind of a leap of faith with Simon Felice from the Felice brothers. Mm-hmm. So we flew over upstate, not kind of knowing what to expect. We had a couple of phone calls literally and like the same music and same passion. So went up and I just absolutely fell in love with it up there. Like completely. I was like, hopefully everything goes well so I can retire soon, you know. And maybe in a year's time. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Where was it? Because I know you ended up in Woodstock. Is that where you're talking about now?
So to British people, because obviously they're not really going to know, I'm like, yeah, it's Woodstock. But like it's 10 minutes away, so it's like Palinville, Rhinebeck area. Okay. We did it in the studio called the Clubhouse. Mm-hmm. It's kind of literally, and then we went over to Sun Mountain, I think is where the engineer David Barron lives. He's a genius. He's got a cool little laboratory in the basement, and we do all our mixing there. He lives on this mountain that I think Janis Joplin used to stay at. It's insane. I'm just pinching myself the whole time. Like, thank you God.
Because when you're working with all that history around you, I mean, that's going to work its way into the music as well. Yeah.
So we have like Matt Johnson playing drums. We had a session with Larry Campbell for a track that's not on this EP but coming up. It's. I'm like so overwhelmed and grateful for like every opportunity I'm getting, but I really have learned so much from like these people.
Yeah, Larry Campbell. I mean, working with Dylan. He's Dylan's guy. Did you get any stories out of that? Did you get any Dylan stories from him?
Not too much. It's weird, but I never want to ask. I know this sounds stupid, but you're almost like...
See, I don't want to ask either, which is why I'm asking you.
Yeah. We did. It was quite a short session. We had a day, and we obviously he even got the fiddle out at some points, and we were just enjoying listening to him. We're like, yeah, Larry, go for another take. It was a bit too country for my record, but it was amazing, you know.
Oh, that's so cool. So that track's not on the EP though. That's something that's
that's coming up in the woodwork. But yeah.
Is there definitive plans right now from the EP to the LP? Do you know what you're looking at?
Well, we've got quite a bit. Like I said, I'm a huge writer. I write all the time. So we've got a lot of the album ready, but I think we're going to see how things go. And I felt like the 5 songs on this really showed a different side. Each song is quite different. Like Grinning in Your Face is a Sun House record, and I wanted to cover that. So I think it just shows different areas to who I am, which it might sound a bit lame. Sorry, guys. But yeah.
It's an introduction. We want to know who you are.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's a good way to do it.
I wanted to achieve that on the first thing. A lot of music now is quite disposable. You know, there's a bit like, here's my single. You know, and I wanted a bit more of a catalogue almost.
Yeah, well, you're with good people over on the Glassnote roster. So
yeah, couldn't be better. Couldn't be better. So true.
It's so exciting to meet you and have you here in Louisville, and hopefully next time you're passing through to be with the show as well.
Yeah, no, I'm so hyped, and thank you for having me. I do appreciate it.
No problem. Before we get to the next song, though, you are heading out on a tour, right? And there's some big names involved?
Yeah, so I'm heading out with my mate Brent. He came over to Brent Cobb. He came over to the UK, and we wrote a song I'm really I think it's amazing. I'm really happy with that song. So I'm going to head out and tag along on his tour with Chris Stapleton, who I'm like, I mean,
you almost did that casually the first time. It's like, and Chris Stapleton,
Chris Stapleton, that guy. No, I'm so obsessed with him. I don't know what I'm gonna do if I see him in the canteen or something. I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a big fan.
I hope someone's got a camera around for that. We want to see it.
Yeah, my face just white.
That's what we want to see. That's gonna be the image.
Yeah.
Jade Bird here on 91.9 WFPK. Can we talk you into another song?
Yeah, this second one's called Cathedral. All right. It's about running away from a wedding.
It's FPK.
I woke all in white, right in the middle of the night. I hoped but knew that I had left you with no reason why. the cathedral. Baby, I was gonna break your heart. Hidden in the vows of something evil. Knew we had to stop before we started to torture each other and wonder why we ever promised until we died. And I swore that I'd never leave you behind. But I've seen the light, oh, I've seen the light. You made me feel so safe. I recall it like it's yesterday, arranged like a thought out maze. I tried but couldn't find a way out. I was screaming out, then you told me that we were bound out. I was screaming out, now all I hear is the sound. I heard it from the out of the cathedral. Baby, I was gonna break your heart. Hidden in the vows of something evil. Knew we had to stop before we started to torture each other and wonder why we ever promised until we died. And I swore that I'd never leave you behind. But I've seen the light, oh, I've seen the light. Said I've seen the light, oh, I've seen the light.
Jade Bird with Cathedral, 91.9 WFPK. I think you can see a live one of that on npr.org.
Live, the whole band.
Yeah.
Dreamhouse.
Great stuff there.
Not sure now.
Thank you again for dropping by.
Oh, thank you so much. You're a legend.
It's really great. It's 91.9 WFPK. We'll catch you next time.
Great.